Hello, my name is Tony. Venom is a B-movie and that's that. It may have an A-list cast, but otherwise it's got B-movie credentials indelibly imprinted on its DNA, and was never going to miraculously blossom into anything else. The genesis of the thing speaks volumes. Adapted from a novel of the same name by South African pulp author Alan Schofield, the screenplay was hacked together by Robert Carrington, who had scripted the screen version of Alistair MacLean's Fear is the Key and several TV movies. Director Piers Haggard sported a long list of impressive TV credits to his name, but only one feature film of any real note, the seminal Brit folk horror classic The Blood on Satan's Claw. Here he got the gig at short notice when original director Tobe Hooper walked out. Haggard described his time on the film as not a happy period. Bodes well, doesn't it? Whatever money was in the budget must have gone on the cast. Klaus Kinski turned down a part in the Raiders of the Lost Ark to do Venom instead, because the pay was better. And as he colourfully put it, Spielberg's movie was moronically shitty. Right, good choice then. You've got veteran American character actor Sterling Hayden on board in his last feature film appearance. Oliver Reed, Susan George, Sarah Miles, and the always terrific Nicole Williamson. A mix like that must have cost some, and might explain why the film itself looks so El Cheapo and muckstagey. Vincent Canby called it the silliest film of 1982. I disagree. It's not silly. It's downright balls out fucking stupid. The words coming out of the mouths of the characters alone represent a crash course in how to fit as many cliched and hackneyed expressions into the shortest conversations. It leaves you wondering if Carrington did it either for fun or a bet. It's not just the dialogue though, their actions bear very little resemblance to how anyone would react or behave in these sorts of circumstances. Logic is something that doesn't apply in this universe. We're in out there territory. Oh sorry, forgot to mention, I should have said earlier before I got carried away. This film has nothing to do with the Tom Hardy Marvel superhero thing. It's way more fun and entertaining than that celluloid manifestation of a CGI septic tank full of dayglow diarrhea and nuclear waste. Hands down. Similarly though, this Venom has a wildly improbable scenario, only not as improbable as Tom Hardy's effort, obviously. It goes like this. 10-year-old Philip Hopkins Lance Holcomb is one of those overeager, bright-eyed little fuckers who has an unspecified respiratory disorder. The sort of illness they always give to kids in movies to elicit audience sympathy and put them in more jeopardy than required. Like murderous kidnappers and a lethal venomous snake on the loose might not be enough. And if they fail to put him at risk of stiffing it, then fucked up lung syndrome might do the business in their place. Philip has loads of pet animals in cages in his bedroom. Inhaling all those pet hairs, animal moats and allergens must enhance his breathing no end. Good therapy choice, Mom. His grandfather, Howard Sterling Hayden, is a retired big game hunter, wildlife photographer, rich owner of a hotel chain sort of guy. Must be where the kid gets his love of small furry bunnies, guinea pigs and the like. Howard is visiting. I think the house is supposed to be in Eaton Square in London, which is just as well as his daughter and Philip's mother, Ruth Cornelia Sharp, is off on a jaunt abroad to meet with her mega-rich husband. Howard can help the hired help look after Philip, the hired help being sexpot maid and nanny Louise, Susan George, and brooding, pissed-off chauffeur Dave Oliver Reed. Now, if you had to pick a pair of reliable, responsible babysitters, they'd be right at the top of anyone's wish list. There is some nefarious shit afoot. Louise's partner, Jacques Muller, Klaus Kinski, is an international criminal wanted by Interpol. He's into a bit of kidnapping with menaces and the like. With assistance from Dave, who Louise is also shagging to keep on side, they intend to abduct Philip for a big ransom. As luck would have it, the moment Muller turns up in the loudest, brightest, yellowest, least unobtrusive car ever to snatch the kid, Howard bundles him into a taxi to take him alone to a grotty backstreet pet shop somewhere in London. He's gone to collect his new pet, a tame African house snake. Some stellar grandparenting going on there, Howard. Maybe tone down the mollycoddling of the boy, yeah? Next time, make him walk. Meanwhile, scientist Dr. Stowe, Sarah Miles at the London Toxicology Club of People or something, finds the deadly black mamba she was expected to take delivery of is just a harmless house snake. What could have happened? Realization immediately dawns on the super smart brainiac in an hour or two. Oh, fuck a duck. Bet some poor unsuspecting sods got the mamba by mistake. She contacts the police. She knows the number. Young Philip arrives home and ignores Louise's attempts to persuade him into Muller's anonymous low-key motor. He runs upstairs to free his new pet snake into a cage for life. Howard, who Muller had sent on a wild goose chase to get him out of the way returns. So the would-be kidnapper enters the house with his automatic pistol to expedite the abduction of the kid. Louise agrees to help Philip open the box and cage the snake before they leave. Cage the snake? Okay. Suddenly, Dave, Louise and Philip are all in the kid's bedroom for the grand unveiling. Black Mamba surges out and bites Louise in the face several times. Amidst the chaos, the snake slithers away into a heating duct and a cop turns up at the front door after being alerted by Dr. Stowe to the potential danger. Dave greets him with a shotgun, treats him just like a Jehovah's Witness and blasts him in the guts. Then Muller shuts the door in his face. Now they're all stuck in the house with a dying cop outside and the most venomous snake in the whole world loose in the central heating system. Bugger. Before carking it, the cop calls for backup. Hostage-busting siege maestro Commander Bullock Nicole Williamson, a Scotsman with a Scottish accent from Scotland Yard in case we're in any doubt, arrives with armed police, snipers and the most unyielding Caledonian approach to leadership since William Wallace. He marshals his troops with tersely barked orders and withering sarcasm. He's outside and not going anywhere. Muller and the gang are inside with a dead nanny and a free-roaming Mamba. Now that's what I call a siege. I stand by my earlier assessment. This film is stupid. And its stupidity is only exacerbated by believing it's smart, and it's the audience who is stupid. Example, Sarah Miles explains to the police that the Black Mamba is, and I quote,
probably the most poisonous snake in the whole world.
She can't just say, the world, she must add in, whole. Now just in case we were too dumb to get it the first time around, she repeats the exact same phrase verbatim to Commander Bullock later.
The most dangerous snake in the whole world. That dangerous.
Maybe she should have looked into the camera and enunciated very slowly for us dumbasses. Talking of the good doctor, Bullock falls for it when Muller demands she and she alone administer the anti-venom personally to Louise, who is in fact way dead by then. He allows Stowe to approach the front door with a hypodermic, only to find Kinski leering up at her from beneath the blanket. He drags her into the house and now has another hostage. We're expected to believe the premier expert siege cop in the whole country would entertain putting a civilian at risk like this? Now earlier it was hammered home, again by the cut glass mine of information known as Dr. Stowe, that the anti-venom only gives the victim a 50% chance of survival even when administered directly after being bitten. Considering the hours that have passed, it's a fair bet dear old Susan George has flatlined her pretty ass by now. It might have been at least something to consider. Later, Muller has Dave sever a finger from the hand of dead maid Louise. This is the last thing I'm doing for you, he says, giving him the finger. He sends it out to Bullock in a delightfully appointed box. Oh yes, like something from Harrods. This time the transparent guff is it's Dr. Stowe's finger, and if Muller doesn't get what he wants, there will be more body parts chopped off and lovingly packaged. It only bloody works. Bullock buys it and has Muller's traffic beacon of a yellow getaway car, which he previously had towed away, towed back. You fucking what? More than that, he's given orders to get a £1 million ransom payment together. Don't know what operational manual he's working from. The reverse psychology one, perhaps? In this mix, there's a pet shop that looks like a caricature of a Monty Python sketch. A doting grandfather who bundles a physically ill 10-year-old into a taxi to visit said pet shop unaccompanied. Yeah, about time he acted independently. No doubt make a man of him. Or a corpse. There's a police commander who dresses up in a motorcycle cop's uniform in case he encounters the snake in a daring attempt to break into the basement of the house from an adjoining property. When the reptile expert from London Zoo, David Ball, Michael Goch, informs Bullock that he is facing what is also probably the fastest moving snake in the whole world and will need a shotgun, Bullock refuses on the grounds that he is only trained and authorized to use a pistol. Listen, don't know about you, but if the foremost reptile guru in the whole country advised me I will need a shotgun, flamethrower, rocket launcher, nuclear warhead, whatever, then that's what I'm fucking taking with me. And I ain't playing motorcycle cop dress up neither. Whatever protection the expert would wear is my fashion choice of the fucking hour. And let us not forget the razor-honed supercharged intellect of Herr Muller, master criminal and strategic genius extraordinaire. Dr. Stowe tells him that snakes hate the cold, which is why the Mamba is in the heating ducts. She suggests that switching off the central heating might put it into hibernation mode, and therefore out of commission. Muller's decisive and considered response, I'll think about it. What? What's there to think about? Well, I don't want to be cold either. If it's a trade-off between risking a bit of a chill and getting bitten by a toxic snake and dying within 10 minutes, well, you know, the value of snuggly warm physical comfort and all that. You can't underestimate it. He applies the same backwards logic when the kid slips into respiratory distress and he refuses to allow Howard to give him his medication. Hello? No kid, no ransom. It ain't rocket science or advanced chemical toxicology, dude. Yep, stupid film. Only wouldn't you just know, I happen to really like it. It's a tremendous wheeze, old chap, and I'll tell you why. According to Piers Haggard, Klaus Kinski and Ollie Reed hated each other from the word go. Reed spent every moment he could pranking and winding Kinski up for the duration of the shoot. In every scene they shared together, he did his utmost to upstage him. The antipathy between the characters they're playing was a mirror image of real life, and their scenes together are immensely satisfying as they face off with one another. Now, I would watch Reed in anything simply because he's in it. I've even seen Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype and The Great Scout and Cat House Thursday, so judge me, I don't care. In Venom, he seems to be having outrageous fun at everyone else's expense. His Dave is a thick-eared, bullying, violent hair-trigger thug masquerading as a chauffeur with poorly dyed black cartoon hair and a bristling moustache. Key Reed scenes in which he chews the scenery with the mighty prowess of a giant ham flash-baked in black molasses, arriving at the front door and blasting the cop. Like, hello, bang, fuck off and die. Ranting at the 10-year-old kid, calling him a cheeky little bastard repeatedly.
You're a cheeky little bastard, aren't you? Everybody is a cheeky little bastard. He is a cheeky little bastard.
Suggesting they all have a drink to calm us down. This is Ollie Reed, after all. Yeah, fat fucking chance. His reaction when he opens the drinks cabinet to find the Mamba is in there is utterly bleeding priceless.
Coming up.
And his death scene, shot in the shoulder by Bullock lying bleeding on the basement steps, the Mamba slithers up his trouser leg to chow down on his wedding tackle. Again, his reactions are a price beyond rubies. I really miss him, Oliver Reed, you know. That's not to say Kinski isn't damn good value, because he damn well is. He's quieter, less animated than Reed, snappishly sneering and snarling his way through the script like a man who wants to spit on the floor in rage, yet must restrain himself from doing so through a monumental application of willpower. He almost vibrates with emotional suppression. When the Mamba attacks him on the balcony and he wrestles with it whilst their snipers open fire, all filmed in glorious slow-mo amidst billowing net curtains, it's as though Shakespeare had adapted the climax of a tragedy into a pantomime comedy sketch for an episode of The Two Ronnies. As he blows the snake's head off and falls to his death, you'd need a heart of stone not to laugh. Honourable mention must go to Susan George's death scene, one of the most horribly convincing performances I've ever seen her give. Zombie pallor, sweating, convulsing, back arching, spewing blood. It's great. Likewise, Nicole Williamson, who channels his inner Sean Connery and spits more venom than old Snakey. He's never less than a dominant magnetic presence in most things, and here it's no different. Finally, the Snake is the actor with the most plausible motivation and most likeable character, even when the rubber stunt model is in play. So okay, you've got a potboiler pulp novel adapted into an even more potboilery pulpier screenplay, with two maniacs going at each other both on and off screen, a kidnap scenario which slops into a police procedural halfway, and a creature feature lethal snake loose in a London townhouse along with the hostage situation that develops around it. The director bails out and is replaced at short notice by another who's just come off of shooting some TV commercials. Tight budget and limited shooting schedule. What are your expectations? A great big ball-busting B-movie, right? Well, that's what you've got. However, one that is way more a phantasmagoria of fantastic fun and fatalistic frivolity than it has any right to be. Good enough for me most days. Many thanks for your time and attention. Feel free to do whatever you choose to do next. Hit like, don't like, comment, subscribe, check out my early access Patreon thing, or even make a welcome financial contribution via the thanks button. Change of pace and quality next, something a bit more upmarket that many channel subscribers, well about 2 if I'm being honest, have requested. So I'll leave you with... Hold on a moment. What's that hissing sound? Oh no, it couldn't be, could it? Either there's a black mamba on the loose in here somewhere, or my rubber ring has got a slow puncture. Hang on, I haven't got a rubber ring.